offering our most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of the divinity that is within us all, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and invoking his blessings in today's session. Om Sai Ram, aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, and to our very special guest, or should I say family member, Brother Bishu Prusty from the Sri Sathya Sai Media Centre in Prasanthi Nilayam. It is so wonderful, and we are so grateful to have you here with us tonight. On this very auspicious occasion of Aradhana Mahotsavam, and with Swami's grace, we are blessed to be able to bask in the omnipresence of our beloved cosmic Sai. My name is Nihilesh, and here with Brother Rajesh, our devotional coordinator from the Sai Centre of the ACT, based in the capital city of Canberra, Australia, I am but a third wheel to these two batchmates who were in school and university together for 7 years, from 93 to 2000, in the Sri Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School and the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning in Puttaparthi. Between Brother Rajesh and I, we are so fortunate to have the opportunity to have Brother Bishu here and ask him some questions from the members of our Sai Centre of the ACT on the theme Experiences of Cosmic Sai. Brother Bishu, maybe an easy one for you to start with.
Yeah.
When did you and your family come into Swami's fold? And what was that life-transforming moment for you that made you know and, more importantly, feel he is divine?
Thank you, Nilesh. Thank you, Rajesh. And a loving Sairam from Prasanthi Nilayam to everyone there. Really so happy to be sharing the love from the place which always is vibrating with his energy, his love, and his melody and his glory. So how did this place pull me? I have to tell you the story of how my father became Bhagwan's devotee. So this was sometime in 1977, 78, when my mother, who was very religious, started visiting some Sai centers. And because my father's health was also not so good, she would be very worried, and she would go and join these ladies' satsangs, which would happen in the afternoons when all the men go to the factory. So I come from a very nondescript town from the state of Odisha, where the whole township worked for one factory. It was a MiG engine factory. So it was almost like a little hill station. And while my mother was very religious, and father also was very devoted to Lord Balaji, it so happened that one of his friends from the engineering days one day told him, do you know Sai Baba? And he gave a picture of Bhagwan. And my father said, I'm sorry, I cannot accept this, because, for me, Balaji is everything. For my father, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother's word was Vedam. So he was very devoted to his mother. And because grandmother was devoted to Venkateshwara, and that's how, even my eldest brother, the first child of my parents, also is named as Venkateshwar. So for him, Venkateshwara was everything. And so when this friend, his name was Pradhan, told him that keep this picture of Sai Baba, and my father said, no, I can't do it. And after a few days, again the friend met him, and he said, you don't have to worship him, but if you want, you can just have this picture with you. And my father kept the picture, but he didn't really have any feeling for Bhagwan. But it was during this time that something very dramatic happened. So this friend, who was very close to my father, he came from a very affluent family, and even though both of them were doing engineering together, this Pradhan was having a very vagabond life. So because he really did not have to study, so he would spend all his time partying and in um, luxurious ways of living a life, and he would never bother about studies, exam. My father, coming from a very middle class family, he would be very studious, but somehow he had great liking for my father, and he was the one who supported my father with all his books and all his study material during the engineering days. And even though my father's wavelength was very different, but somehow he had great liking for my father, and so he would only everything that he wanted, but he would always have only one condition. He said, you study everything that you want. These are the books which, both of us can share. Uh, just before the exam, just tell me the few questions that I have to study, and that's it. That's all I want from you. You get your gold medal. I don't care. I just need to pass. So that's good enough for me. So, father always had a lot of gratitude for what this Mr. Pradhan had done for him. And so when he was insisting 2 3 times to have Bhagwan's photograph, finally he thought, okay, maybe I should have it. But that was not the reason why he started having Bhagwan's picture. One day he went to Pradhan, and he had known the kind of life Pradhan had always led during his college. Uh, and when he went to the house, he saw that everything is changed in his house, which used to have pictures of all the actors and everything that anyone would want to do to just lead a very lavish life. Everything was gone out of that room, and that room had just a normal floor. Every photograph had gone. There was only a huge picture of Bhagwan, and the transformation that had come about in Mr. Pradhan really shocked father, because he was someone who was never into anything to do with spirituality, God, meditation, service, nothing of that sort. But suddenly everything had changed. His house now had become a meditation room, and whatever time Mr. Pradhan had, he would only spend time doing bhajans. He was a very good singer. He had the talent. Now he used to coming for bhajans. So you would either be singing bhajans, you would be doing meditation, or he was in the factory. And his house had really literally become a temple. And my father started thinking, if who is this person who could bring such a 180-degree transformation on Pradhan? If this much transformation is possible, because I have seen him for so many years now, then that person must be somebody. It has to be someone to explore. So that's the reason why he got a little curious about Bhagwan. I always feel that while it is remarkable for us to do our penance, our sadhana, and have a vision of God, but what is truly incredible is when people see us and they envision God. When people see us and they feel, how is this person like this? There must be some secret to this person. And they discover the one who is all sweetness, all glory, all love, all power. So that's how Father's journey began. And, so there was a group of devotees who were going on a South India trip. And so they came to Tirupati and Kanyakumari and all these places. So, and they mentioned that, as part of their itinerary, they also have Puttaparthi as a stop. So father said, okay, fine, let's go. So, so my mother and father, so they got in to this group. And so the day father landed in Parthi, it was the last day of Dasara, the Vijayadashami day, and the Purnahuti was going on as father stepped into Prasanthi Nilayam. This was, as I said, in the late 70s. And so the Purnachandra Auditorium is where the function was going on. It was very crowded. And, he was unable to enter the place. And like me, he's very of short height. And so finally he thought the only way he can see, because if he sits down, he cannot really see anything. Only way he can view the stage is to go right at the back and stand uh, with his body facing the wall. He thought if he stands himself against the wall, then probably only then he can see something. So he went right to the end, and he stood there, managed to find some space, and the Purnahuti was going on. And we know how during the last moment, Swami comes near the Yajna, and Swami sits there as the Yajna Purusha, the one who accepting all the oblations done to the fire, and he himself offers the final ahuti to the fire. So Bhagwan, we know, he would wave his hand, and he would put this Navaratna, and he would put akshatas and all these sacred objects into the fire. So as all that was being poured, Father was watching all this, and with 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 a lot of amazement. But something else happened after this. After the Purnahuti was done, Bhagwan stood up, and Swami raised his hands, both his hands, and Swami was now blessing both the sides, ladies and gents. And when Father saw that scene, he was completely taken aback, because what he saw there was not the two hands of Bhagwan. What he saw was the 10 avatars of Vishnu. He saw Matsya Kurma Vara Narsimha. He saw the entire Rama Lakshmana. He saw all the avatars there in Swami's hand, and he thought, is it really? I'm seeing some vision. It is something. Is it a hallucination? And he tapped the person next to him. He said, "What are you seeing?" He said, "I'm seeing just Swami's hands." He said, "Are you sure?" So he kept looking at that vision that Bhagwan gave him, and he was so transfixed to the spot, and it had such an indelible impact on him. After that moment, he went back to the shed, and he told my mother that, from now on, we are not going anywhere. We are not seeking anything. We don't want anybody else in our life. We have found our destination. This is where I belong. And he went to the stores. Uh, I remember after that trip, and I was too small, but he our house suddenly became a temple. We had huge pictures of Bhagwan, just like Mr. Pradhan's house was, and he had bought every book, every this I speaks, every Vahini, whatever money he had, he spent all the money and got all the books that he could find, and that's how his journey began. And that is how, by the time I started knowing things, I was already in an ambience, which was worshipping Bhagwan, and where Bhagwan was the center of our altar and the center of our lives. And with time, one of the sons of one uncle who uh, was a Balika's guru, and a very revered person who should train us and do a lot of study circles. His son became Bhagwan's student. And it was a great moment for us, because from our little town, someone becoming Bhagwan's student way back in the 80s, for us he was like, wow, he was a star for us. And so whenever he used to come during vacations, it was a practice in our place that whoever becomes a Sai student, in their vacations they do these Balvikas classes for all the other students. And so whenever this brother used to come, every day he would do classes. It would be vacation time, so I would go to these classes, and he would every day spend 2 hours teaching us these songs, these carols, these stotrams here. So I had learned all that the boys were learning here uh, during my vacations there, during my 8th, 9th, 10th, before I became a student here. And the amount of stories he used to tell about Bhagwan, we developed such a deep relationship with him and with Bhagwan through him, that that desire that I should also become a student became so intense. And I remember crying and praying, and that I have to become a student, I have to become a student. And the only anthem of my life at that time was तुम्हारी शरण बिना अनाथ है हम, तुम्हारी शरण बिन अनाथ है हम, दया करो भगवान, कृपा करो Bhagavan. So that was the only prayer. Swami, make me your student. Swami, accept me. I have nobody. And so 8th, 9th, 10th, there was nothing else that I was dreaming of. And, I became a student. But then, uh, once I became uh, student of the Sri Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School, I had thought that, once I am here, I would get so many opportunities with Swami. Because in my little center, I used to stand with them, I used to sing, and I used to be part of dance and drama and everything. So I was like somebody in the center. And I thought, here also I would get a lot of opportunities, and Swami would be talking to me. I would get chance to sing, I would be doing a lots of things here. But once I joined the school here, I found that everyone here is super, super talented. I'm nowhere near anyone here. And with time, I figured that, uh, whatever you are, it does not matter. If here you have to become somebody, as a 15-year-old, you want to become somebody. You want to be that center of attraction. You want to be a star. You don't want to be a nobody. At least I didn't want to be a nobody. And I thought, and I saw that if you have to become anything in this place, it does not matter whether you have great talent, doesn't matter whether you're getting first class in academics, it doesn't matter if you're a great athlete. What matters is Swami talking to you. If Swami is talking to you, you are a hero. Even if you're academically a zero, if Bhagwan is talking to you, you are a hero. Whole world is with you. Every teacher wants to talk to you. Every student wants to talk to you. The warden will call you to the room and talk to you. So it's like, and I thought that, here the only way I can become something is I should get Swami's attention. And so what to do, how to get Swami's attention? Then I figured, the most beautiful thing, of course, about Bhagwan's hostels is whatever you do it for Bhagwan. It's like the Gopikas of Vrindavan. What can I do to get Bhagwan's attention? Like the Gopikas were thinking, can I sing so that, I can sing for Krishna? Can I paint so that I can paint something for Krishna? Can I dance so that I can dance with Krishna? So it's the same here. What can I do so that I can get close? Can I chant Vedam so that I can get an opportunity to stand next to Bhagwan? Can I do athletics so that maybe I can get a cup from Bhagwan? Can I draw something so that I can get a photograph? And I draw an art and I get Swami to sign it. So everybody is trying constantly thinking what to do to get that moment with Swami. And I saw that, one group which is getting maximum attention from Swami is a bhajan group. Because no matter where Swami goes, no matter what function it is, no matter what event it is, a bhajan group is always with Swami. They are always sitting in the front. And if you are in the bhajan group, you belong to the elite group of the hostel. And even though, I used to do a little bit of singing, I realized I'm no one. But I thought, that is the only way I can get some attention from Bhagwan. So I started praying. I went to the music teacher. He said, if you want to become part of the bhajan group, there's only one way. You have to ask Swami. Swami has to give permission. That's it. And so I started praying and praying and praying, and nothing was happening. And the amount of uh, uh, pining that I did in those days just for that chance, for that attention. When I think about it today, I wish I had that kind of pining. Because there were days when I was not able to eat, I was not able to sleep, I was not able to do anything, because I was just only praying, Swami, please, please, Swami, give me that chance. I want to also be close to you. And but nothing was happening, and it was so frustrating. I thought, it's nothing is going to happen, because Swami is never going to talk to me. He's only going to talk to some, yeah, he's talked to that guy who, yeah, that guy's handsome, so he talks to him. Oh, that guy's grandfather served him, so he talks to him. That guy comes from a royal family, so he talks to him. I'm a nobody. I come from a nondescript, absolutely average family, and I mean, no way I have any talent, so he's never going to look at me. So I almost had reached a point of depression, because I thought, how much ever I pray, it doesn't make anything. Even if he had a heart, then, even if he had a little bit of compassion, then you would have by now melted with the amount of tears that I've shed for him, and nothing seems to touch him. I don't know if he really feels anything for me, and what's the point? I'll just be a stone here, and that's all. My existence will have no meaning here, because someone's never going to talk to me, never going to look at me, and I don't know what I'm doing here. And I was very depressed. And I remember one day, one of the wing teachers, he spoke to me and he said, you know what, you need to do three things. You are praying, continue the prayers. Whenever Swami comes, give a letter to Swami, tell Swami something, and follow the hostel discipline. And I felt, okay, I'm following the hostel discipline. That's the only thing I'm doing. There's no point being good. All the guys who are breaking all the rules are getting all the attention from Swami, and here I'm trying to be a very goody boy, and it's absolutely of no use. I am being made fun of by others. I have become a laughing stock because of my goodness, but I don't get any attention from Bhagwan. And but he said no, you, don't lose hope. And whenever Swami comes, get up and give a letter. So I started that practice of giving letters to Swami, and so every day I would write something sweet. Swami, I love you, Swami. This life is for you, Swami, and all those sweet things that you want to convey to Swami. And I started doing that. Swami would come. Some days he would take the letter. Some days he would not. Some days he would make fun of me. He said, what do you want? You want marriage? Oh, this boy is so early. He wants marriage. Oh, you want to sing? You want to dance? Oh, go, there's a space there. Go and dance. Go and dance. Oh, you want interview? Hey, this boy, give him interview. He wants interview. So so it would be, so I would feel, even he's making fun of me. There is no point. He doesn't take me seriously. Everybody else is important for him. I'm absolutely a joke for him. And so I stopped. Even there was a point when I thought, there's no point praying. Just leave it. I don't know what is going to happen to my life, but uh, I'm never going to mean anything to him. So just leave it, because I'm not smart. I'm not good looking. I don't come from any great family. So I will never mean anything to anyone here. And I just stopped praying. And I remember it was the month of February one day, and I was sitting there. Uh, I didn't even shave that day. I thought, what difference does it make? Whether I'm there, not there, it means nothing to him. So I was just sitting in Mandir, and Bhagwan came out of the interview room, and he started walking among the students, and then suddenly he went down and down. He went till the Ram Lakshman statue, and then he started coming back. It was about 4:35 in the evening. And as he was coming back, so again, there were some gaps here and there. So, boys started going to the vantage positions, and I didn't bother, because I thought there's no point, even if I sit in the front, what difference? Anyway, he's not going to look at me. So I'll just be wherever I am. But it just happened that, with all the shuffling, I was just pushed to the front. So I happened to sit unknown to me in the first line. And Bhagwan came, and Swami was coming, and from far it seemed like you were looking at me. And I said, no, it can't be. There must be somebody else. There must be some smart guy here, or some rich man guy here. Why it can't be me. So I didn't bother really, actually. But as he came near, I saw that, yeah, he's looking at me. I thought, really he's looking at me. Oh my God. Yeah, he's looking at me. And he started, his vision was like so one pointed. He was just looking only at me, and he came straight to me. And involuntarily I got up, because I didn't really think that he would really find me, that I would mean anything to him. And he came, and I just got up, because he was just standing right next to me. I got up, our eyes met, and I don't know what happened. The next moment, Bhagwan waved his hand in three big circles, and out came a beautiful silver chain. And the whole crowd burst out in applause. And he put that chain onto my neck. And, like the drama that happens, it took quite a time. It took a bit of a time for him to unscrew and, put that. And I just held to him, and I was just crying and crying and crying. I couldn't believe that this was happening. I wet his robes with my tears, and that's it. I knew that everything that I had done, and nothing had ever gone waste. I knew that no moment for the Lord can ever go waste. It's just that we cannot be in a haste. There will be his tests, because that is his taste. But if we are sincere, if we persevere, we will be graced. We will be graced in a manner that we would have never imagined. We will be left dazed with the way he graces us. And that day, I just held on to him, and I was crying and crying. And it took effort for Swami to extricate himself from my embrace. And as Swami was leaving, I just remembered, oh, I need to ask him, Swami, I want to sing. And Swami was like, if whatever I would have asked him, you would have told me yes. If I had told Swami, I want to sleep in your room, Swami, I want to go in your car, you would have probably told yes. In the way he was happy with me that day. And he said, yes, do whatever. No problem. And I became a star. I was a star in one day, one night, that I became a star in the hostel, So now everybody wants to know who is this guy. And in those days, from eighth class to PG, everybody was staying in the hostel. And so who is this guy who got this chain? And and from nobody, I became a huge somebody overnight. But with time, I mean, that was at the teenager mindset. But with time, I knew that um, he's there. Whenever I pray, it's not as if he's not listening. He's listening, but he's waiting for that time. And I know from that moment that every moment that I spend for him, everything that I do for him, he is there with me, and he is lifting me. And that bond that is there, that formed on that day, only became stronger, sweeter, and beautiful as the days went by.
Thanks, brother. I think Swami has always said that with him we are heroes, without him we are zeros. So you were the hero that day. And nostalgic memories for me as well, because I was sitting very close to you that day. I very well remember that moment when Swami materialized that chain for you and put it on your neck. It was very touching. Really wonderful, wonderful, brother. So really, before asking the next question, I would also like to thank Swami for blessing us with this session, and also to have your company once again with us. So the next question, Bishu, that I have is, Swami always in his discourses says, I'm always in you, with you, around you, below you, above you. And we have heard this several times. Can you share some experiences, especially post 2011, that strengthens our faith on this assurance from him?
So let me share with you something, which happened in the last 2, 3 days. These are moments that keep happening every single day, every single moment in your life. Uh, you ask me, when do you feel that Bhagwan is there with you, in you, around you? And I will ask you, when do you not feel? That's how it is. That's how powerful, that's how palpable his presence is. Few days ago, I was in Tirupati, and I had gone there because I had heard about a new system of healing. It is called energy enhancement system, where there are different kind of monitors. It's a new, very very new system of uh, um, healing, wherein there are these specialized systems which emit a particular ray called scalar waves, and you just have to be in that environment, and your cells get regenerated, and your inflammations reduce, your pain reduces. So I had heard about all this, and I thought, I need to explore this, might help someone. A lot of people go through so much pain. So and it was installed in an ashram, and some other guru's ashram. So I spent there 2, 3 days. It was a very beautiful place. And, I spoke to people who had benefited from that. And I thought, okay, nice, very beautiful. Maybe someone will find a pain less life, or pain-free life, thanks to this new technology. It's first time installed in India, and it's very expensive in the US. People pay some $60-70 per hour to just be in that ambience, etc., etc. And I was coming back, and I was thinking, the only problem is, it's in some other guru's ashram, and how do we? It won't be nice for us to go. People will ask so many questions. Why is somebody going to some other guru and all that? I was thinking about it, and you won't believe me. Just I came back, and a day later, I was just walking in the ashram, and I meet Brother Indreshwar, who is the Rajmata's grandson. Rajmata is one who's contributed. She was a member of the Central Trust when the Central Trust was formed, and so I just bumped into him, and I don't know why I started talking about it, and he said, you know what? I can't thank you enough, because this is something that I need right now. I'm looking for things like this, because of what my health has been going through, and I don't know how to be grateful to you for what you're telling me. And I would definitely want that such a thing should be in Brindavan ashram, or should be somewhere in Prasanthi Nilayam, so that we don't have to go to any other ashram to for people to benefit from this system of healing. So let's do it. So I was like, thank you, Swami. So I think, these are moments, they just keep happening every other day. And I'll tell you something else. So I went driving in my little car. It's an old second-hand car. And it was all fine when I went. And while coming back, it's 6-7 hours drive. Suddenly my car started giving problems and I saw fumes coming out. I got very scared. And I came out and I saw that, it's really very hot now. And so the car also had got heated up, and the temperature had gone up, and there were I don't know if there were sparks, but there were fumes. And so I opened the bonnet, and the car was not functioning, and I didn't know what to do in the middle of the journey. And I take my phone and I find a missed call from a family friend who I've not spoken to for, I never speak to that person, though I know him for long. And suddenly I find his missed call, and he's someone who knows about cars. And I tell him, wow, so tell me what to do. So he guides me with something. And then he says, you will find one car repair shop just a kilometer or two away. And so I managed to go there and I get the car repaired. And then I start the journey. But again, 20 kilometers, the car again stops, and again it's getting heated up. And I'm thinking what to do now. I can't go back there. I cannot go. I have another 100 kilometers to cover. And then I just go to one shop there where there was water, and uh, I pray to Swami, to help us go through this. And I just do what that mechanic had done. I open the bonnet and I put little water inside, and whatever I had learned from what that mechanic had done. The car went for some distance. Again, it stopped, and I thought, this is how I'm going to go. Every 10 minutes, I'm going to stop. I have to go 100 more kilometers. And I just said one prayer to Swami, and you won't believe. After that, I don't know how, everything was fine, and I could drive that entire 100 kilometers. There was no problem. I came back and I thought, okay, now I have to get it repaired. So the next day, I asked someone to take it to the car garage. I tell, how did you drive and come? I could not even take it to the car repair shop. That 1 kilometer is getting heated up. How did you come 100 kilometers like this without the car blowing up? So how many such instances should I narrate? And it happens every single day. I'll tell you something which happened again just 1 or 2 days ago. There's this again, a very close family friend. So she has to go to the US. And so her daughter, her eldest daughter, she was completing her MBA. So she's finishing her graduation, and she was requesting mom to come. And so even though she was not in great health, because daughter is insisting, so she decided to go. And when she was at the airport, she gave me a call. He said, I'm really so worried, I don't know. I only said, you're not going alone, just feel that Swami is with you, hold Swami's hand, and go through the journey, everything will be fine. And she reached there. She had to go to Frankfurt, and from Frankfurt she had to change the flight and go to the US. And after she reached, she calls me back and she says, I have to tell you something very interesting happened. And she says, from Frankfurt, when she changed her flight to go to the west coast of US, she says, uh, next to her, there was this huge man who came and sat, a 6-footer, and fat, and very well built man. And so initially, she was feeling a little uncomfortable, but that person was very nice, very, very gentlemanly. And after some time, because it's a long journey, as she was trying to massage her legs, and this person was very kind. He said, why don't you take a walk? It'll help you. It'll help your circulation and all that. So when she saw that the person is so nice, so then they started talking. And so that person asked, where are you from? And she said, I'm from Bangalore. And this person said, I don't come so many times to India. I'm actually originally from Germany. But, when I come to India, I go to Tiruvannamalai. I go to Ramanashram. I love that place. And, so that's how the conversation started. And they started talking about God, spirituality, meditation, and all that. And the conversation went on. And it was so beautiful, satsang that was going on. And this person suddenly asked, tell me, how is it that in India, every person is spiritual? Every person has this philosophical bent of mind, no matter what they are doing, no matter what role they are playing, no matter what they are wearing, what they're speaking. Everybody has that philosophical streak in them. How does it happen? How does it happen in India that everybody has this kind of mindset? And she said, I don't know. Tell me, who made you what you are? I'm so happy talking to you. How are you like this? who is the one who has made you what you are? And she said, you want me to tell about him, or you want me to show him? I said, show me. And she took her phone and she showed Bhagwan's photograph. The moment this person saw Swami's photograph, he started crying. He started crying like a baby, and now she was feeling so uncomfortable because he's such a big man. He's crying there uncontrollably. He said, "What happened?" He says, "I don't know. When I look at his picture, I don't know what is happening to me. I had seen his picture long, long, long back, and after that, I had never seen. But I don't know what. When I see him, I just feel like I've missed him for so long." And I tell you, I don't think I will ever have such a beautiful flight ever in my life. Thank you for giving me so much of positivity. You connected me back to him. I want to come to India and I want to see him. I want to come to the ashram. Can you help me? She said, yeah, I'll be happy to help you. And the person was so nice. He went, helped her, when she was deplaning, helped her with the luggage, helped her with the trolley and everything till he left. That person was serving her as if she was Swami. And she was telling, in my little mind, I was complaining to Swami, my husband had booked a premium economy ticket and you put me in this place and I have to sit in this kind of seat. And, and now you send me this person. I said, how foolish I was. Only then I realized how much he takes care of me. How much he takes care of me. And how he used me as an instrument to give me this much joy. So, these instances keep happening every single day. So let's not ask, how are we feeling that Swami is there with you and you? We should ask ourselves, how are we not feeling? It's just that we have to open ourselves and we will see that he's so much with us, in us, around us. It's like sun's rays, if there is even a slightest hole in the door, the sun's rays just go into the room and remove all the darkness. I think God is like that. He's waiting. If we have to just open ourselves a little and we can feel that profusion of his grace, and that continues. And there are so many stories, but I will stop there.
Saram Bishu, it's so true, isn't it? That when we have that element of surrender and that faith in Swami, those little coincidences, they really turn into Sai incidences, and it is so easy to just feel Swami all the time, as opposed to actually question. It's a really wonderful point. One of the next questions that we thought we'd ask is that Swami really, he tells us that to really experience that bliss that is him, we have to go within. As Sai devotees, how do we practice that, and how do we connect with Swami as we go within?
I feel, Swami has said, what I like the most, when is it that I enjoy the most? When is it that I'm happiest the most? Swami says, I love it when you treat me as your own, when you treat me as your beloved, you treat me as your bestest friend, you treat me as your buddy. If you go and tell Swami, you are my beloved, you are my darling, you are my sweetheart, you are my best friend. I don't need anyone else, because everything I want, I can get it from you. And if I think we develop that kind of an enduring relationship with Swami says, among all the Navavida Bhaktis, Mananam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, we know all that. Finally, it comes to Sakhyam and then Atmanivedanam. So that relationship of having Swami as your friend, I think is the sweetest relationship, the best relationship, and I feel the easiest relationship to develop that connect with Bhagwan. What do you do when you have the best friend with you? What do you want to do? You share everything with your best friend, right? You want to go for a movie, you want to take the friend along. You have a great success, you want to share it with this friend. You have a great loss, you want to share it with this friend, because you feel so good and you want to do anything for this friend, because you love that person so much. If we can have Swami as that friend, because every other person in life, they will come and go, they will have everybody else in our life, they have their own time spans and time scales and purposes, but the only person who is going to be with us all through and knows us through and through is Bhagwan. I think best way to connect with him and feel him is to develop this sweetheart relationship with Bhagwan. Tell him, Swami, you are the apple of my eye. You know, you are my breath. You are my soul. I love you. I love you much, much more than you can love me, though that's not possible. But I think that is the kind of relationship we should have with Swami. And then nobody needs to tell us, how to connect. Nobody needs to tell us how to become close to your best friend. We know. It's the same. We will figure it out ourselves. We will, even if you do something wrong, it is fine. If you feel this is something, in fact, Swami will be very happy you go to him and tell him, Swami, this is what I've done. He'll be very upset if you shy away. Like a mother will be very happy. Go and tell mother, this is what I have done. She said, it doesn't matter. No problem. You still are my son. And, I love you the most. And I love you all the time. Multiply that 100 times. So even if, when we do something and we feel, no, this is what I cannot tell Swami, go and tell Swami. Don't be afraid of Swami. Make that relationship, build that relationship, strengthen that relationship. And I think then we will keep feeling him. We will never miss him. And he will miss us if we forget him. I don't have to tell you the tips of how you have to do it. There are a million ways of doing it. You can sing bhajans, you can chant Gayatri Mantra, you can read Sathya Sai Speaks, you can use the Prasanthi Connect app, you can do Likita Japam, you can do anything. Figure it out for yourself. How I can make Swami my beloved, my sweetheart, my darling.
I can't help but smile. It's just so simple, isn't it? When you said you just have to love him and tell him that you love him, I can't help but smile when I think about saying that to Swami and when I do say it to Swami. Um, Something that's really top of mind for some of the members here in Canberra is that they keep hearing that devotees experience such bliss at the Sannidhi or Samadhi. Can you share your thoughts on the significance of Samadhi, Darshanim, Prashanti, and why we should continue to come to Prashanti when the cosmic Sai can be felt anywhere in the world?
So way back in the 70s, Swami had told to Ratana Lama, who served Bhagwan like Mother Ishwarama. One of those days, Swami said, you know what? I'm going to sleep here and give darshan. So this was, sometime in the 70s. And Ratana Lama said, Swami, what are you saying? You will sit here and give darshan, or you'll stand here and give darshan? What do you mean you'll sleep here and give darshan? Swami said, no, I'm going to sleep here and give darshan. And this is the space. This is the space where we go to when we go to Mandir. When Prashanti Nilayam was inaugurated, Swami said, anyone who steps into Prashanti Nilayam and stays in Prashanti Nilayam, does any sadhana in Prashanti Nilayam, Putta is to be born, Parti is no more. Putta, Parti is where there is no more birth. So anyone who steps into Prashanti Nilayam and does any sadhana will be out of the cycle of birth and death. Can we have a place more love charged than a space where, when the universal consciousness concretized in one form spent all his life, can there be a place more surcharged with purity than Prashanti Nilayam? And that is the reason why I keep hearing the same experiences that happened when Bhagwan was there. The same kind of experiences. You had Sonu Nigam, who had come, very popular singer. He stood at the Samadhi and he was crying. He was crying and crying for 10 minutes. What happened? He said, I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't explain to you what happened. He just touched me something deep. These are the kind of experiences we were listening when Bhagwan was there physically. Is it not? It is that powerhouse of love. We have no idea what it can do to us. I feel if today my father, who's 80 plus, and 15 years ago doctors told him that either you have to undergo an operation or you have to be completely bedridden, but till today he walks and he's normal, he does everything on his own. I feel it is just the power of this place. because he just thinks about Bhagwan and every day goes to mandir and he sits there. We have no idea what this does, of what this place does to us, because it is indeed the most love charged place on the planet. Many years ago, when a devotee had come, she was with Bhagwan in the interview room and she was crying uncontrollably because she had lost her son, and Swami consoled her in so many ways, but she uh, kept crying. She was wailing, and Swami said, "Okay, okay, I'll give you a son. I'll give you a son. Okay, are you fine?" But still she did not stop crying. She kept crying, and Swami did not know what to do. Finally, Swami went to her, and Swami said, "Okay, I'm giving you back the same soul. Now at least are you fine? Same soul." And that's when she finally stopped crying a little bit, and she was blessed with a son. And Swami came in the dream, and Swami named him Sai Krishna, and that boy studied here, and he passed out and is doing very well now. This is what had happened when Bhagwan was physically there. In 2012, you know, a office bearer of the Sathya organization, he had finished his seva. 2 more days were left, and he got a call from his family that his daughter-in-law has delivered a baby, but the baby is very serious. Doesn't look like anything can be done, and so they were asking him to come back. And he said, "Okay, what's the point? What can I go and do? I'm here to serve, and I'll finish the service, because even for me to even go, it will take 2 days. So whether I go after 2 days or whether I go after 4 days, what difference does it make?" So he waited here. He finished the service, and he took namaskar at Bhagwan's Sannidhi. And as they finished the seva, they were given vibhuti packets. He took the vibhuti packet, and as he was leaving the Sannidhi, very strangely, in those days, there were a lot of flowers, and you had opportunity to even touch the samadhi. 2012. So one of the sevadars gave one flower from the Sannidhi to him. It just happened that flower just fell, and he just gave it to him. So right from Prasanthi, he went straight to the hospital, and he went to where his daughter-in-law was, and he kept the vibhuti. He placed the vibhuti on the baby, and he kept the flower on the cradle of the baby. The moment he kept the flower, the baby started crying. How many such stories can I share? How many such stories can we really document? To me, everything that was happening when Bhagwan was physically there, the same question, why were we coming to Prashantilam when Swami was there? To have his darshan, sparshan, sambhashan. It's the same reason why we have to come to Prashantilam. We have no idea how he's touching us. We have no idea what this place is doing to us. You come and you experience.
Wonderful, brother. Wonderful. Recently, when the Australian group came for the Prasanthi Pilgrimage in December, there were many from the group who had come to Prasanthi for the first time. And we saw similar sort of scenes that you were mentioning of that singer Sonu Nigam who broke down in front of Samadhi. There were brothers, especially the young adults, who just broke down in front of Samadhi, and that itself gave me a sense of that connect. There is some connect. Tears does not just roll down in people's eyes unless there is a strong connect, whether it is with physical Sai or the cosmic Sai. It is the same, and the same experience which we will. And hence Prasanthi always pulls us back, and it is our home. That's why we come back again and again. Brother, just be conscious of time. I just want to ask a question which you keep asking in your interviews as one of the last questions. Maybe I'll also do a similar thing with you. 24th April is etched into our hearts, into every Sai devotee's hearts, and everyone has a sort of a connect with that on that day with Swami, be it their memories with Swami or whatever they want to define. I want to understand from you, brother, what does 24th April mean to you, brother Bishu?
So, for me, when I joined Bhagwan school in my 11th grade, from that moment onwards, somehow it was very, very settled in my heart that I wanted to stay back and serve. because I had seen such fantastic teachers. I had seen teachers who could have gone out and achieved so much, but the kind of life they were leading, and for me it always felt that I cannot miss a day with the avatar. I can earn all the wealth of the world. I can enjoy everything in the world. All that can be done later. But I can have all the wealth of the world, but I cannot get one day back with the avatar. That was always the thought. So I never ever thought that I can miss one day, because this is a chance of a millennium. So I always wanted to stay back, and Swami gave me the chance to actually work in his institution after I finished my MBA. So my world was just him. I did not have two worlds. People elsewhere had a world of their own and another world when they came to Prasanthi. But for me, this was the only world, to see Swami every day, to be lost every day, looking at him, and every day be thrilled with the kind of surprises that he was giving us, be thrilled with his uncertainties. One day he was giving double abhayasta. One day he was staying and listening for bhajans for 1 more hour. One day he was suddenly creating something out of nothing. One day out of the blue he was distributing robes. So every day was a surprise for me, and that's what kept me going, and that's what I lived for. That was what my life was. So suddenly when everything went, you can imagine, definitely my world collapsed, and I was crying and crying and crying. I thought, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Suddenly I don't know what is the whole purpose of me being here. If he's not there, then where is my life going? And I like so many people, I just cried and cried and cried, and so I had this inner conversation with Bhagwan, and like Swami is asking me, so why are you crying? Are you crying because you love me? I said, yes, Swami, I love you. That's the reason I'm crying. I can't live without you. And Swami is telling me, if you really love me, you say you love me. If you really love me, live for me. Can you live for me? You say you love me. Can you live for me? Can you lead a life of absolute purity, just doing my word and nothing else because you love me? And I said, yes, Swami, but I really miss you. I had thought of doing this, but without your presence, without your strength, without seeing you, I don't know how I can manage. I wanted to do so much. Swami said, understand this. This is the most profound moment of your life. You are going to see the unfolding of my mission. You are going to experience everything that you wanted to experience. Make your life my message. Live your life for me. And I said, but still, Swami, I still cannot reconcile, because without you being there, without all those opportunities, without those chances, I just feel so lost. And Swami says, have I not given you enough chances? I said, yes, Swami, you have much, much more than I probably deserve. You've given me so many chances, and I know I didn't live up to them. I don't deserve anything. And Swami said, now deserve the chances that I gave you. You know how to deserve the chance that I gave you? DESERVE, deserve. You can deserve whatever I gave you by serving without D and E. Serve without desire. Serve without ego. If you can serve without desire, if you can serve without ego, you will deserve everything that I have given you, and I continue to give you, and you will experience me. You will experience my love in a way that you'll never miss me. So for me, that was a message that if I really love Swami, I have to live for him, and I have to deserve everything that he has given me and continues to give me by serving without desire, serving without ego. That's what keeps me going.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for that beautiful definition of, if you need to deserve Swami, it is to really serve him without desire and ego. Thank you once again. I wish this discussion continues, as there are so many pearls of wisdom that we need to extract from you, brother. But we have come to the end of our allocated time. So once again, I pray to Swami that he blesses us with another opportunity to have satsang with you. So in conclusion, on behalf of the Sai Centre of ACT, we once again offer our gratitude to Swami and to you for sparing your time and sharing your thoughts on this theme, Experiences of Cosmic Sai. Om Sai.
My